Recording, good. Woo-hoo. So we're just going to go over the whole first page of this is just vocabulary, and I know that you guys have know it, but we're just going to go over it. So area is the size of the surface or the amount of space inside the boundary of a flat two-dimensional object, such as a triangle or circle, or the surface of a solid three-dimensional object. And today we're just talking about a flat surface, right? A circle. So the area is just everything that's inside of it. So how do I find the area of a circle? Well, I'm going to take A is for area, R is for radius. So I'm going to take pi times, what the heck happened there? So, it's on my screen. Pi times R squared. So I'm going to take pi, and on your calculator, I'm going to show you on mine. This is the one I have today that I'm using from when I do that. On mine, it actually has a pi button. So sometimes if on your calculator, it'll have just a button for pi. So that's actually more accurate if you push the pi button instead of putting 3.14, because 3.14 has been rounded. I know it sounds weird, but it's been rounded. And if you can just use the pi button when you're using your calculator, and almost all calculators have a pi button. Okay, so if you can use the pi button instead of doing 3.14, that's awesome. Okay, and then my radius squared. And we're going to define radius for you in just a minute also. And then circumference. Ooh, what the heck? Okay. Obviously, I didn't lock my screen. Why isn't my screen locked? Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. The circumference is the distance around the edge of a circle or any curvy shape. So, but right now we're just talking about a circle, and it's a type of perimeter. So it's the perimeter of my circle, and this little picture I found actually has all the equations on it and everything we need to know. So I've got my diameter here, and of course, I don't have a highlighter. Here's my diameter, right? And then my radius, which we kind of defined all the other day, right? The first day. But it also has the equation for my area, pi r squared, but also for my circumference. And it has two different equations for my circumference. It has, circumference is 2 pi r, so it's 2 times my radius times pi, or it's pi times d, and d is my diameter. So 2 times r equals d. 2 times my radius equals my diameter. Radius is half my diameter, so that makes sense. I could do it either way. So depending on what they give me what information they give me when I'm doing my circle, if I'm looking for the circumference and they give me my diameter, I'm just going to take the diameter times pi. If they give me my radius, I'm going to multiply the radius times 2 times pi, okay, for circumference. Not too bad. And we have examples of both of those coming up, okay? So don't worry about that. Diameter is the distance from one point of the circle through the center to another point on the circle, right? It's a chord. It's also the longest distance across the circle, and it's twice the radius. The radius is the distance from the center of the center to the circumference of a circle, and it's half the circle's diameter, which we kind of talked about, right? We kind of know that stuff. All right, so here we go. And I put on this page, if you turn your page over, if you're in class or if you printed it off, if you turn it over, I have both of the equations up at the top in these little boxes, right? Area of a circle is pi r squared, right? Circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. And then I am going to write in here, or C equals 2D, depending on what they've given me. If they give me my radius, I'm going to do this one. If they give me my the diameter, I'm going to do that one. Okay, does that make sense? Depending on what they give me. So the directions are, and I've totally messed this up, by the way. I just forgot to put something on here. It says, find the area and circumference of the following circles. I have to round my answers to the nearest, we're going to round it to 2 decimal places, okay? So we're going to round it to the nearest hundredth. So I'm just going to write that in here, and you guys can write it in if you need to. So round to the nearest hundredth. Pretty sure that's how it's spelled. Hundredth. Okay? Hundredth is 2 decimal places. So this is why we need our calculator, because most of this, once we write it down, we're just going to put the information inside. I'm sorry, I need to wave at the camera for him. Inside the calculator. Okay? So here we go. So it gives me a radius of 10. So this is my radius. I'm just going to put R here. R of 10 feet. I do need to pay attention to that because they're labeled. So I need to label my answers. So I'm going to find my area first. I don't know why I'm finding area first, just because it says area and circumference, I guess. And area comes first alphabetically before circumference. I don't know. I'm just going to find area first, if that's okay. Okay, so I know area is, what does it say area is? Pi r squared. So r is 10. So I'm going to take 10 squared times pi. And then I'm going to get out my calculator, right? And I'm going to go do 10 squared times pi. And I put it in my calculator. And I get, what do I get? 314.16 feet squared. Done. That's it. That's all I have to do. All you have to do is be able to set up the equation and then put it into the calculator. Okay? If I'm doing Desmos, do I need to show you how to do it on Desmos? Which I can. You guys know that. Let me get Desmos up. DES. Desmos. Okay. Okay, let me stop sharing just for a second while I... Why are you not working? Oh, there we go. There we go. And where'd Desmos go? There we go. I'll just make this really big so you can see it. All right, we're gonna go share screen number 2 for now. So I have them both up here so we can share them real quick so you can see how I'm gonna enter it into the calculator, and then I'll stop sharing so it's bigger to see again. So if I'm in my calculator, right, I am just gonna do this, 10 squared times, and if you look at here, here's my pi button in Desmos right here. Can you see it says pi? Times pi, and there's my answer. 314.159, so I'm going to round it to 16. Okay? Sorry.
It's like the other one, but with like another 2 numbers behind.
Yeah, we're rounding it to 2 decimal places. Okay? So then if we go to the circumference now, right? So I'll have to find the area. Now I need to find, what the heck happened there? Interesting.
Did you
Oh, there.
record this time?
Yes, I'm recording.
That's good.
I know. So C, my circumference is, remember circumference is 2 pi r. I have my radius, so circumference is going to be 2 pi times my radius. So I have 2 pi times my radius, which is 10. And then I'm just going to put that into my calculator, right? So I need another thing here. So I'm going to do 2 pi times my radius, which is 10. And there's my answer. It just comes up right there, which is 62.83. 62.83 feet. So area is squared, circumference is not. Okay? Is everyone okay with that? I'm going to make it bigger now. Okay, so I'm going to quit sharing here and just go back to here. Oh, and I probably needed to make it bigger before I started sharing. Sorry, let me Let me fix this. There we go. Share. So now everyone can see without having to squint and be like, Miss Campbell, what does that say? I know you guys aren't really saying that, but you know. Okay, that's not too bad, right? Elizabeth Hernandez. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the next circle. We're gonna do the same thing. We're doing exactly the same thing for all of these circles. So I know my radius, this is a radius that they've given me. So my area is gonna equal, remember area equals pi r squared, and circumference equals 2 pi r. I'm just writing it down, okay? So area is going to equal pi times 8.4 squared. So I'm going to get out my calculator. I'm going to put it into my calculator. And I should get, I already did this, so I don't have to do the calculations. 221.67 yards squared. Questions? Guys at home, does it make sense? Did you ever hear back from Tom? Oh. And then circumference is going to equal 2 times pi times my radius, which is 8.4. Remember, 2 times my radius is not the same as radius squared, right? Radius squared is the radius times the radius, and then 2 times the radius is 2 times whatever the radius is. So they're not the same. Okay, I should not get the same answer. So then my circumference is going to be 52.78 yards. Okay? Not too bad? Pretty easy? There should be one case where we get the same answer, I think, and I think that's probably on if I had a radius of 2. Because 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 squared is 4, so I get the same answer. But that's the only one. Okay? Awesome sauce. Okay, next. Oh no, now they've given me instead of the radius, they've given me the diameter, and my diameter equals 10. So if my diameter equals 10 inches, what does my radius equal? Yes, good, 5 inches. Okay, so I still am doing the same thing. Area still equals pi r squared. Circumference, now I can do circumference is 2, I'm still just going to do the same thing, 2 pi r, right? Because we know it. Let's just learn one of them, makes it so super easy. So area is going to be pi times 5 squared. Put it into your calculator and you should get 78.53 inches squared. Questions at home? Are we doing okay? Questions here? Sally, make sense?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. Even you just have to have the formula right next to you and just plug it in. That's it. And all we're plugging in is my radius, right? So my circumference is 2 pi times my radius, which is 5. So if I plug that into my calculator, I'm going to get 31.42 inches. Me.
Wait, so
Go ahead.
I'm trying to figure out how to multiply the pi with the 5 squared. That's what I'm trying to do.
So in your calculator, you should have should have a square button, right? Or you could do 5 times 5. It doesn't matter. Right, 5 squared is 5 times 5.
I kept pressing the second and E. That's why we're
No. So you should have do you have a square button? Yeah, you have a square right there. So you can do 5 squared times 5. Those are 5 button. That's very good. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But don't square your pi. Just square the 5.
Yeah.
And you can do the caret button if you want, but just do that with the 5 only and then put the pi after. Okay?
We're just doing, we're writing a summary for page 21, water table, and then we're doing one note, you're explaining the ATV or whatever? No, it's,
Okay, so I have a circle with a diameter of 12 miles, which is a huge circle. If my diameter is 12, what's my radius equal? 6. It's half, right? So I just divide it by 2. So now I can find my area, and my area equals pi r squared, and my circumference equals 2 pi r. Usually the hardest part on this is putting it into the calculator, right? So if you need help putting it into the calculator, you guys, ask me, and I will help you with that, okay? So area equals pi times 6 squared, which is going to be equal to 113.10 miles squared. And then that should have been approximately equal to, sorry, because I rounded. My circumference is 2 pi times 6, which is approximately going to be equal to 37.70 miles. Questions? Question? Oh, I need some lotion. Okay. Sorry. I do. My hands are really dry. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and start giving you guys the answers. I know that most people are done. Maybe. So the area for A is, what is the area for A? 22.90 inches squared. And the circumference, it should be approximately equal to. The circumference for A is 16.96 inches. Okay, for B, my area would approximately be equal to 50.27 inches squared. And my circumference is approximately going to be equal to 25.13 inches. 8 times pi, right? Or 2 times 4 times pi for circumference. Okay. Was it the area or the circumference that you were like?
it was the circumference.
Okay. So area on C is approximately equal to 380.13 kilometers squared. And my circumference is approximately equal to 69.11 kilometers. Okay? Okay. And then on D, area is approximately 28.29 yards squared. And circumference is approximately 18.85 yards. Getting them right so far? Nice job. E, area is approximately equal to 13.85 feet squared. And circumference is approximately equal to, my approximately equal to signs are looking really bad, 13.19 feet. And then, yeah, that's right. And then F, my area is approximately equal to 254.47 feet squared. Feet squared. And my circumference is equal to 56.55 feet. There we go.